Yeah. All right, we're back. Hey guys, after all the fun times that we had last night, we're gonna have some fun times now messing with New York City because it's New York City and it deserves to be messed with. But before we get into that, I wanted to give Coach Ken here a little proof because I believe I played against his sister. She went to Sachem, right?
Longwood.
Longwood. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. You're
yeah.
right. That was pretty. So Jeff, if you want to go ahead, pull up that picture. I'm just gonna show a little proof to the pudding for him. Yeah. So you can make it a little bigger, Jeff. That's me in the white jersey.
Yeah.
There's little Kaz at Sachem.
Yeah, so I think my sister played back when Kaz was at Longwood.
Yep.
So
So
that's kinda how the tie-in goes. So around that time period, yeah.
yeah. So it was probably 2 or 3 years later. I think she moved from Sachem and went to Longwood because I was eighth grade. We were in eighth grade, and the girl sitting down in front of us was a freshman in high school at the time. That was
Oh, okay.
yeah. That was like
Nice.
95, something stupid like that. And then that's Sue Bird in the Syosset jersey.
Oh, okay, yeah, wow, what a career she had, yeah.
Yeah, right? So, that was just a little proof I was there, I was
Is
there.
is Sue coaching in the NBA now?
I don't know if she's coaching at all. I know she retired. I know, they're
I
doing a
think she's got a big time
documentary.
position somewhere.
Uh, if
I
she's
think.
coaching in the NBA, that's
I think
fire. Imma have to look that
I
up.
think she might be. I think she might be.
That's alright, that's super cool. Alright, yeah, let's go. The first thing I heard, and we haven't talked in a while, but the the basketball teams, the girls' basketball teams, I don't know if you saw that. There was a Yonkers team and then an all Jewish team, girls' basketball, and the Jewish team, I guess, it's a private school. And so they played against the Yonkers team, and I guess they're like the Yonkers team was throwing out anti-Semitic like language at that. Did you see that? They fired the coach and
I read the headline that the coach got fired, but I wasn't aware of the all of the what took place during the game or what happened with it.
yeah, they were literally just running around the basketball court yelling "Free Palestine"
Oh, that's wild.
to these kids, and yeah, and I'm like in high school, these kids are this triggered in high school.
Where like most things, it's probably coming from home, right? Like this
Yeah,
is a lot of these behaviors are all learned behaviors.
right. I mean,
So
I don't ever remember being triggered about politics in high school.
I knew nothing about politics. I mean, I barely know anything about politics
'Cause
now,
now
right? So what you focus on, right? I didn't grow up in a home that was focused on that, right? We were focused on our athletics and our school and our friends, and
yeah,
so that's what we knew, and that's what we propagated, and that's what we went on about. I didn't really read the news or pay attention to the news, and paying attention to the news now is really like a
it's
crapshoot anyway.
stressful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the coach, that was the team, and of course, everybody's gonna perpetuate it and blow it up and race bait everybody and, whatever, but
it's
I just
popular. It's popular now.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I was curious too because I don't ever remember giving a crap about anything that was going outside of my high school when I was in high school.
And no, we're busy, busy being a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
The
Well, social media takes that away from our kids now, I
yeah.
think.
oh, 100%,
You
100%.
know, I think it's the parents. I agree with you. I think it has a lot to do with the parents. The difference was that our parents didn't have social media, which means we didn't have social media, which meant that because I was like you, I knew nothing about politics. I knew nothing of my parents never talked about it. Even my father being a Vietnam vet Marine, like just never talked about it.
Right.
Um, but I think that social media robs our children of childhood and being a kid.
Couldn't agree more.
And
Couldn't agree
you people think Long Island is small. It's not. Like I'm on the very, very far end of the island, so I very much don't get to see what happens in the city very often. You do. You actually commute from the beginning of Long Island into the
more. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle.
okay.
I'm Suffolk County. I'm Eastern Suffolk County.
Okay, gotcha. And you work out of
I'm in Greenwich Village.
and you're your elementary school or middle school coach. Gym
I
teacher?
am a I'm a high school adaptive physical education teacher.
There we go.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and like, where is the school again? Tell me.
Well, it's in Greenwich Village, so on Fifth Avenue and down in the teens.
Anywhere near Floyd Bennett Field or whatever?
I'm not aware of the field. It's
Oh,
close,
okay.
closer to Washington Square Park.
Okay. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
And so when we first started talking, we were talking about the subways, walking around, seeing drugs and or like
Right. What sparked it off was a thing I posted about the subway surfing, and then
yeah.
another young kid dying of subway surfing, and I said, yeah, it's just something that is now becoming a normal occurrence. The craziness, something like cities. This is just a normal city day, and you would say, wow, it's like that. I
And
was like,
I
oh,
was like, "Oh," I was like,
yeah,
"Let me guess, New York City?"
it's
You were
much
like,
worse.
"Yeah."
It's much worse than that because, um, you know, although that's tragic, that is something that maybe you could chalk up to kids being kids, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah. You
the
think you
more
can
the
do
more
it.
serious and pressing matter that we have now is just the abundance of homeless and the homeless that are now becoming more and more aggressive.
Yeah.
So that was really something that is now disturbing. Not and it's now transcending areas that have historically been very, very wealthy and kind of off limits to this kind of debauchery that you would see now, and now it's everywhere.
And
Every-
that's a lot of people are equating that to like the hotels now being for like migrant shelters and things. Are you seeing any of that or is it
Well, yes, seeing that, but I wouldn't say that is really a factor at all. Why there is now an abundance of homeless, I'm not really sure, but the homeless weren't being housed in these like the Roosevelt Hotel where migrants are now. So this wasn't like this
Oh,
wasn't
right. Yeah.
this is an escalating issue, but I'm not really sure why it's becoming, it's multiplying at such a high rate now. Um,
I see it and
that
I
that
think
I
it's
don't
the
know.
trend.
The migrant issue, a completely separate issue, and that's just because, right, we're having so many thousands sent here with nowhere to go.
Right.
So they're trying to triage that as quickly as they can, but that's not working, and that's becoming a problem. But the homeless is just an astronomical problem that I don't know what changed in the last 3 years.
I would say the trend, right? Like, isn't this new drug trend? It's or trank.
I don't
I
know
think it's
anything about
called
I don't know
trank.
anything about drugs.
It's that weird. It's in the well, I don't either, but it's in the news all the time. It's
Mm.
that weird one that it's called the zombie drug. It almost like
Oh,
eats your
it
flesh.
came up from like the South, right? That was
Yeah,
big in the
and they
South.
mix it in the fentanyl or whatever, and it
Yeah.
just whatever. So now we got like little like encampments where there was even an article in the Post too where it said that like they'll they're so drugged up that they can't shoot themselves up, so they pay somebody like they pay another drug addict who's good at like finding veins to shoot them up. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That zombie drug is real, and I do see it quite occasionally. I say, from my short bike ride that I take from Penn Station to my school, I'm probably passing every morning, and this is at like about 5:30 in the morning, 2 to 3 zombies.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
just out, in the middle, either of the sidewalk or the intersection or the middle of the street, just
Just not knowing
completely
where they are.
completely out of it, completely out of it.
Like, because then they always show us, and I always wonder, are they showing us? I mean, I think that's what gravitated me to talk to you because I wanted to know if you really do see it, but just like people like passed out on the side of a building or like just you know what I mean, like in the middle of the day, just knocked out, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy,
There's some people that have been in the same spot on the sidewalk for 4 years,
and you just know they're gonna be there when you walk by.
all the time,
That's so it's
all the
gotta
time.
be we talked about it, the combination of this drug, probably Trank that's out now, because you don't know what you're gonna get if you buy stuff, and then the mental illness component that goes along with it.
Yeah, it is something, and I don't know if there's a correlation between that, the people that are addicted to that drug and the people that are just homeless, right?
Right.
So here's a for instance, around the block from the school, they were doing, water main work. I guess
Okay.
for a steam pipe that went under the ground. So they ran into an issue, and now they had to vent the steam up through the middle of the street. So they have it, coned off in a little vent. But because the heat of the steam coming up through the ground now is so hot, it has attracted about 15 homeless who now live in the middle of the street.
Because it's
They're so warm. It's so
yeah,
warm now. The ground has become so warm that they're living right now in the middle of the street. They're cooking their food on the street.
Wow.
that's crazy.
So that was something. And then I know you had asked me about if I'm seeing needles, and I had said no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, I just out of curiosity, I had went to the custodial engineer who runs the building, and I asked him. I said, I see a lot of these homeless people that are now really encroaching, getting close to the school. Like, at what point does this become a security issue? And he said, well, it's a security issue now. And I said, do you see any needles? And he goes, oh yeah, I clean them up every morning.
Uh,
So I didn't think this was an issue because I didn't witness it, and come to find out that this is like a huge problem that he's having to clean up every morning in front of the building.
that and you said you don't really have any security. The doors are open. I could
Well,
just walk
right.
in.
Well, I want to clarify. That's not that we don't. We do have security. We have the Department of Education has New York City. A part of the New York City Police Department is safety agents, New York City safety agents. So we have them. They are very short staffed. The mayor just canceled the next two classes, so we're going to be even.
No, did you see? I wanted to tell you this, my man. I knew this was gonna make you happy, and yeah, this is another one I want. So magically, our very impressive governor and mayor found out that they over budgeted, right? So they were being too safe with the budget, but now all of a sudden they've found enough money to put through more police classes. Magically, they
Right.
had it, blah blah blah. So now they're gonna, you know what I mean? It's a complete it's a shit show.
Yeah. So to
But I
get
know what you're saying when you were
get back
saying
to,
that.
to get back to the if you try, you have a child that's young. Do they go to do a public school now?
Yeah, he's 6, yeah.
Okay. So if you tried to go to the school, probably be very difficult to get into the building. You may be able to get into the building, but you probably not be able to get really into the building. You'd
No.
have to show some kind of ID. There'd probably be some kind of locked door.
Yeah.
And some of the bigger schools or more affluent schools are putting security booths closer to the street. So let's just say Longwood, for instance, you could not even get close to Longwood High School because you would have to get through a booth with a gate closer to Longwood Road, where if you don't have an appointment and they're not expecting you, you're not getting in.
Mm.
So the city works very different. It's almost like an open door policy where the doors on a day that it's not freezing out are open, wide open. So you can gain access to the building without anyone checking you.
Gotcha.
The safety agents are not armed. And as of last week, I think it was Thursday, maybe, I just noticed for the first time ever that they're now wearing bulletproof vests.
Ugh.
So I inquired. I said, is there an elevated threat risk? Is there something, I should know about? Like, or are we at a level now where we should be concerned? And they kind of brushed it off. But, I mean, it's a pretty obvious change in policy or uniform to go from never having any visible sign of, protection
Yeah.
to now wearing, some kind of plate carrier that's protecting you.
Do you see the kids feel any kind of way? Do they notice that all of a sudden now
I
they
I
have
don't I don't think they notice, that, like, they're all buried in their phones and they're going on their day, and, you know,
do
I don't
they
I
d
don't I don't think they would notice. They might, a few that maybe talk to them. I don't know. I'm pretty busy from the minute I get in there to the minute I leave.
yeah. Do you guys have that? How many, like, obviously, do you have active shooter drills?
No, we just practice the typical, lockdown, lockout, soft lockdown,
So okay.
fire drill kind of stuff, but, it's not really, it's not gonna transfer because, they're never a surprise. You
Right.
know when they are. Everyone knows it's a drill, so it's not taken very serious. And you know, so my building shares the building. My school shares the building with 2 other schools. So there's a lot of people in that building.
Right.
You know, if something really went left, it would be a lot of chaos because no one is preparing for it.
Right.
So it's sad. I know, when there is a shooting, it makes national news. I think statistically, though, school shootings are probably pretty low comparison.
So,
Comparatively.
yeah, I mean, we're just thinking back to like, the 80s and stuff when there really weren't any like, or what was the first real national news story was probably like 98, 99.
Columbine,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, it is. It's. I've never felt scared or vulnerable. In the building, I just make note that it's not. It, if you look at the security measures taken on Long Island compared to what's going on in the city, it's
yeah, you can't get into my kid's school.
pretty mind-boggling. Yeah, yeah. I know where my sister teaches on Long Island, you wouldn't be able to get in.
No.
You wouldn't get close.
Nope. Uh, how big your school was, that's what I wanted to get back to. The building that you're in, what's the age range of the building that you're in?
So it's middle school to high school. So sixth grade to 12th grade, and then we have a couple of students that can go up until age 22.
Okay.
Special needs students can go until age 22, where they take more life skills classes after 12th grade. So if they're 18, 19, graduate, they can stay another couple of years in life skills
Yeah.
classes where they're learning how to better do activities for daily living.
Do you feel like your school is staffed well for stuff? Like, do you have
My,
the
my particular school is staffed pretty well. It's very rare. Again, we have different mandates because we are a designated special needs school. So there are
Oh, okay.
certain mandates that we have to meet with: class sizes, class teacher ratios, things of that nature. And the other 2 schools that share the building with us. Obviously, I talked to the other phys ed staff, and I've never heard them complain about being short staffed, and I don't think it's an issue for them either.
And and so that was the other thing we wanted to talk about too, babe. I don't know if you want to jump in on this. You have special needs all the way to like 611 classes with kids who are nonverbal, right?
Correct. Correct.
And that goes all the way up to the spectrum where they probably could possibly be pushed into an inclusive classroom, or is it?
Yeah, well, we have some or have had some students that were in an 811 ratio that after their time with us went on to an inclusion class. Sure.
That that's awesome.
It is awesome. And we currently have 12 now that could certainly qualify, when their time comes around to, decide on their ratio again.
Oh, you got the automatic bubble things that pop up. That's what mine doesn't do that.
What's that? What popped up?
When you do a thumbs up, it pops up on your screen. Do a thumbs up again. You'll see it. Look at your screen when it.
Well, I don't know. It was like he was like over here, like just went like this, and
I don't know.
It was so cool.
Yeah, you had like a bubble pop up on your screen.
I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah.
That was awesome.
In your classroom, so you're the 611. You're the smallest classroom.
The smallest classrooms that we have we have three 611 classes.
Do you have any kids that have one-on-ones? Are you able to staff?
Oh yeah. We have several students that have one-to-ones. Absolutely.
Are you a one-to-one teacher yourself, or do you?
No. I'm the adaptive physical ed teacher.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
then you have their
So
one-on-ones
when they come to the gymnasium, the teacher will transition them down to my gym, and I will have the staff that is with them. So there's a classroom paraprofessional, and then whatever students are mandated one-to-one aides, I will have them as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's very good. It's very helpful. It's very helpful because the behaviors range from very mild behaviors to some very loud, just students that are loud, students that have trouble focusing. A 611 classes, there's 6 students, 1 teacher, and 1 aide.
Yeah, so they can go from that's like the most
most restrictive, probably the most
Yeah.
restrictive environment, and then it would, then a less restrictive environment would be an 8. So you'd have 8 students, one teacher, one aide, and then 12, right? So all this gets done through their meetings with the whole team. You have individual plans. Each student has a plan, and their ratio is discussed and determined. My school, Jeff, is entirely a special needs school. It's designated by the Department of Education in New York City as a special needs school. So every student I have is uh, diagnosed and distinguished as a special needs student.
Yeah, our
My
son's
my school, my school, all the students there classified having autism. So
yeah.
there are other schools in the city where maybe it's predominantly Down syndrome or cerebral palsy or things like that. My school is all autistic students,
So our son is in what started in a 12-1-1,
right?
and now he's basically mostly inclusive with some speech classes that he has to go to, but otherwise,
That's great.
yeah, it really was because I mean, he needed a lot of help when he was in kindergarten. So,
Yeah,
um,
but he was just recently diagnosed. So he's 6 and he was
Right.
just recently diagnosed. And so when he went to oh, here, I'll pull myself up.
yeah,
I'm
pull
talking.
yourself up, bro.
um when he was in preschool, he was in a 12-1-1 classroom, and then they said that he needed more support. And so when he was moved to a more supportive classroom, we actually came to find out that it was less restrictive. He didn't get as much support. It was very much okay, he's having a behavior. I'm going to reward him by giving him an iPad and letting him go have some quiet time,
Hmm.
versus being that teacher where it's like, okay, I know he's having a hard time, because our son didn't talk for a very long time. We could understand him. We could understand the lingo, and we thought that he was progressing in speech. But compared to his peers and stuff like that, he really wasn't talking that much. So, and then that 2.5 to 3.5, he really started to have behaviors, and then getting into the preschool too. But it wasn't until, and I, want to just say thank you to you, because you being able to work with kids to support them to, be their best, and to also challenge them too. You very much seem like, you're that type of teacher. We were very grateful that our son's kindergarten teacher very much was like, I'm going to challenge him. And he is where he is, and he's thriving in an inclusive classroom because of teachers. So I just want to say thank you as a parent. Like,
Absolutely.
good teachers are good teachers for
Yes.
all of our kids, whether they're on the spectrum, special needs or not. When you have really good teachers, did you always know that you wanted to work with special needs children?
No, not at all. No,
Oh,
actually, when I went back to school for education, my thought was I only wanted to work in high school. I spent probably about 16 years specifically doing sports specific training. Started with just training quarterbacks and pitchers and stuff like that, and then it just built and started training girls in gymnastics. And my thing was always technology, so I would video everything and break down their movements and
Yeah.
and give them voiceover feedback and be able to analyze everything they were doing, especially like baseball players with their swing if they were getting out of position. And um, Long Island's got a very competitive cheerleading programs in school. So a lot of girls with their tumbling were having a problem tumbling. They were getting out of position, or launch angle was not correct. So that's how kind of that started. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go make this unbelievably technical, advanced high school PE program, not taking into account that the fortunate time that I had dealing with the students who were detail oriented, goal oriented, and investing in themselves. That's who I was only exposed to. Where the general population comes to phys ed, and it's not really what they were looking to do. They were,
Yeah.
when I
yep.
did my student teaching, I was like, oh, this is not going to work, right?
They're
My
just
mom said
want to pass the
my mom
class.
said I don't have to change for gym, or
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, or I don't like floor hockey, or I don't like gym, and I don't want to sweat. And I just did my makeup, and I was like, wow, this is not
for me.
this is not going to be it. So I after student teaching and subbing for a little bit, I was like, I just really didn't know what I was going to do. And then a buddy of mine who I know from the rucking community, he's a retired Marine sniper, and then got a job teaching and was teaching. And he said, yeah, if anything ever opens up, I'll let you know, because I kind of know where you're at. And then he said, look, this position's open. It's in the high school. I work in the middle school. And it'd be a good fit for you. It's not, it's in the other end, teaching fundamentals and stuff like that. And that's really where I found my niche, right? This is some of the same techniques and fundamental skill set that I was teaching to the tip of the spear, athletes in high school that were looking to go Division 1. I'm teaching the same thing now, right? Just differently, just differently. We're still working on balance, transferring weight, eye-hand coordination, timing, picking something off the ground and getting it over your head, right? So like,
So the scales that
the scale is way to the other end. But
I was gonna say the scales that you have to make for these kids, like, I mean, it goes hand in hand kind of with the philosophy of CrossFit, but this has got to be a scale that probably none of us have ever even thought to do for someone.
and a lot of it really is, you have to I think my favorite quote is like, you meet them where they're at. And this is what we have to do on an individual one-to-one, but right, every student is different with a different skill set, a different cognitive ability. And at least half of my students are nonverbal, so communicating with them is very difficult. Some have the ability to communicate with a device, others do not. So it's all modeling, show them.
So you have to physically like show them what you do.
Everything. Yeah. And you have to have, multiple variations of that modeling. Is it just me doing it? Is it maybe having a peer that can do it? Is it having an example, playing on a loop on the projector on the wall? Don't know which one is going to work, right? Is it also having the words? Some of them can read but can't speak, but they can read. So, having the instructions spelled out on the projector. So you don't know, until it clicks, and then okay, now I know how I can meet her or him here, and now we move forward.
I think it's just such a good reminder that we all learn differently.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All absorb information differently. I am somebody that I need to see it.
Right.
I need to see what you're doing. Or like for boxing, because we box a lot now. Like I need you to say the rhythm as you're doing it, so that because have a dance background. So like give me the rhythm and I get it faster. And I think that it's a reminder that every single person learns differently, but it doesn't mean that every person can't learn.
Oh yeah. I'm tactile. I want to try it. I want to feel it. I want to feel how the ball is coming off my hand. Why, make a free throw. How, I want to feel it. I know right away. I'll get that feedback right away. Oh, that's short. That's too hard, right? Not enough arc.
Dude, and some of those kids, I mean, I know some of the programs that we've put our son into, he's on the more higher functioning end, right? So a lot of times if we practice taking them going out to eat in a public setting, and we'll bring him so that the other kids can see that, like, hey, you can be relaxed in a public setting. The noise isn't so scary, but a lot of his friends do wear headphones because the noise is too stimulating for them. Do you have
Oh yeah.
kids so you have, even with them not wanting to, like, because the gym is loud.
Gym is very loud, big echo.
Yeah.
And that's without anybody stomping their feet, clapping their hands, yelling. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we have that, sure. We have a handful of kids that wear the noise canceling headphones, and they just go on right about, they're good. That helps them, and now they're ready to go. They're locked in, and they get it in. Yeah, they're good.
Oh, that's great.
Are you do you have some kids that come in and do the same thing every single day? Like they have that set routine where it's like Johnny, for instance, has to go to the right side of the gym to do this for the first 5 minutes to get him grounded until he is able to transition to the next movement. Do you have any of those very strict, I need to follow this exact thing to get
kind of
into the
the
door.
OCD
Like, yeah,
autism
like
part.
OCD part of it, where it's like the routine has to be so strict, or are you able to kind of, or you don't see that as much?
We do, very few and far between with that kind of precision where it has to be. We do have a few.
Mhm.
Um, I've kind of created a rhythm or a
Mm,
routine, so when they come in and they know the music's on, they know to start getting right into what a lot of it starts with, like, we just start with fitness walking laps, but
Uh,
it's music that they probably, it's not baby down music and it's not crazy, but it's
yeah,
something they might hear in their house, right? So popular music,
right.
yeah,
popular country songs, popular whatever, Bieber or Taylor Swift. So
yeah,
Bieber,
yeah,
Swifties.
so so now they know, okay, the music's on, they see the layout of what's going on inside the gym, and then they get right into it. So if even if they were having a tough time transitioning, they come from the classroom where maybe they were having a tough time, and now they get the overstimulation of 3,000 people being in the hallways and they have to come down 4 flights of stairs. The minute they walk in, they put their stuff down. Now they're right into the my routine.
Mm.
And now,
Oh,
so that kind of
oh, that's
right.
cool. So you have your routine set up for your classroom, and they all kind of settle
Yeah,
into.
I run a pretty, a pretty aggressive routine, so it's very active, very little downtime. Maybe out of a 45-minute period, there's 4 minutes of downtime, and even that downtime is learning. We're learning about nutrition facts. We're learning about different ways that we can make a healthy investment into our body. If it's something just like drinking water, or trying to stay away from sugary drinks, something simple like that, or we're trying to learn about the 5 food groups and what makes up, what are ingredients or items inside each food group, right? So that all depends on, I have some 611 classes where no one's talking, so asking questions is kind of redundant, but pointing out, you know this is a banana, it goes in the vegetable food group, right? Like,
Mhm.
God, yeah, I was gonna
so if
ask
I
you.
keep repeating that and then they go home and maybe they see a banana, maybe then they ask to eat the banana,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
that's
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah, because our kid too, in the beginning, you really couldn't. The comprehension wasn't there yet. I mean, now
Yeah,
you ask him a question, he'll answer it 55 different ways, but
right.
in the beginning, he couldn't answer you. Like, he couldn't tell you what he wanted. The That for me as a parent was always scary. Like, that my kid couldn't tell you what's happening or how he's feeling, or, you know.
Yeah, communication is a very fundamental thing we need. We have it, probably why we have a lot of issues in the world today is lack of communication, right? Or lack of listening to when someone is communicating. So yeah, it's very important that, just at a basic level, we communicate.
Yeah.
Find a way to communicate. Where is it? Pictures? Is it pointing to a picture? Right? Something,
Tell
something.
me about that scale that you did. It was so cool last time with the, what was it, with the balloons? You were teaching them how
Oh
to.
yeah, sequencing and coordination. Yeah,
Yeah,
so right, we start with, right, when we start with the easiest object to manipulate, probably a balloon, right? So just a simple sequence of hit the balloon in the air and then try and touch different body parts, and then we create a sequence. Hit the balloon up, touch your head, catch it. Hit the balloon up, touch your head, shoulders, catch it, right? And then try to get all the way, touch your head, shoulders, knees, toes, catch it before the balloon hits the ground. So these are things where if you or I do it, it's simple.
right.
But to some, just being able to toss it and catch it is a huge victory, let alone touch 3 or 4 different body parts and still be able to do it. And then we progress to different objects to reduce the amount of time in the air, make the routine or make the exercise the challenge more difficult. I move to a juggling scarf, still floats, but falls to the ground faster than a balloon.
Right.
Mhm.
So now try that same thing. Very different, you know.
Oh, so
A beach ball, although larger in diameter, right, falls much faster than a balloon or a juggling scarf. So just in note, I mean, you could teach that for 6 months, just trying to get that, get those routines down.
Yeah.
yes, Jeff, sorry. Yeah, our son is verbal now. Somewhere around, what'd you say, babe? Like 4, No, kindergarten, I guess.
Kindergarten is really when he started to have conversations and be able to answer questions.
Oh,
Now,
4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, it was that.
yes,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was right. Yeah.
Yep. And he, his biggest thing now is still comprehension. So he very much has his words. We joke that he has all those years of not speaking, that he's kind of playing catch up,
Yes.
Right.
where he wants to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but it's the listening and comprehension and being able to have a conversation. Hey, Garrett, how was, did you go to gym today? Yeah, mommy, I went to gym today. But then he wants to talk about like something over here. And it's like, well, what did you do in gym? Well, I don't remember. So it's like, it's those type of conversations now to be able to get him to engage and stay on a specific topic much longer, to be able to comprehend exactly what he's hearing, and then how do you respond to that. And like you said, it's communication, it's fundamentals, and it's a lot of times we just overlook it of how simple it is, but how difficult it is for other people. And I think that our son, at least for me, like has reminded me how much baby steps mean, and how you just have to slow down sometimes and not take for granted the things that you're capable and able to do. And he's just a reminder of that. For your class, did you always know that you wanted to have a very strict routine with them coming into class, knowing that some of them could transition difficult? Did you learn that over time? Kind of how did you come up with that routine of the transition when they first walk in your door?
Yeah, the transition was learned, right? It was just something I had to see what happened, right? We went through COVID, which was half of the school was learning remotely. The other half was in the building, but they weren't allowed to leave their classroom. So I had to go to each classroom, right? So now you got
Right.
right. So yeah, now
Mhm.
now we come back after COVID. Now I have kids that were home for a year and a half. It's hard
Yeah.
enough. It's hard enough to get some of our students back into the routine after a 3-day weekend.
Right. Yep.
But that I always knew I can't sit around and just like like the old reference to gym teachers was like, oh, you just roll the ball out.
Right. Yeah.
One that's not going to work for my group of students. They just can't be. You can't say, okay, guys, go play dodgeball or kickball, and that's going to work. Just
Yeah.
not going to happen. They'll just stand around and space out into in the corner of the room. So there always has to be a plan, right? You have to have a plan of doing something. And I wanted to be active. I wanted to be active. It makes the day go quicker just to stand around and watch whatever they're doing, dude. It's like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it became a classroom management challenge to allow some of them to come in and sit down. Some had too much energy, so they would just stand up and be sprinting around the room.
Yeah.
Some were being loud, some have clapping tendencies or stomping their feet tendencies. And it's like, this is not working because it just was not a good use of my management skills. So all right, so there's got to be uh, something that they're doing as soon as they come in, something that could be repeatable, where it wasn't a skill that we were trying to learn. It was just something that they all can walk.
Walk.
So
That's
let's walk.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yep.
They all enjoy my music choices, which is fantastic for me because I just play what I want.
Yeah, right.
R&B from the '90s to
Yeah.
Yes.
country. What's
What
popular
yeah.
country now. So I just play what I want to listen to, and they all seem to love it. And a handful of them that probably have parents my age, they come up to me and they give me the fist bump. I know this song. Hey,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
R. Kelly was popular when I was younger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in any event, the getting them moving as soon as they came in, that routine changed a lot for me as far as management, because I could get them in. And sometimes a couple kids, you might have one that's coming late from speech, or one late from OT, or OT is showing up to talk to me about something. So can't really get right immediately into maybe teaching your lesson that you want to teach. You need 5 or 10 minutes for everybody to get acclimated. And that really just worked great. So now they come in, they know we're going to get right to it. Unless the music's off, then I have something to talk about. Then they kind of know to go sit down, or within a couple of prompts can get them to go sit down and get through whatever it is, if there's something that we have to address before class starts. But that's far and few between. It's mostly come in, music's on, they get right going. And then, after 5 or 10 minutes of that, we can get into, exercise, fitness, trying to teach. We're trying to start an exercise club so they can earn. There's 5 clubs that they can choose from. So if all their behaviors are great during the week, on Friday, they can go to the club that they choose. So I'm doing the exercise club. So we're trying to.
Oh,
So this Friday we started teaching them Tabata. What is a Tabata workout? How does a Tabata workout work?
Love that.
What is the
Yep.
structure of it? What exercises can we do that everyone can do? Right. So all body weight stuff. Trying to teach the fundamental of a push-up, of a modified push-up, of a jumping jack. Right. So that's kind of what we're trying to implement now on Fridays. And this is all going to be fitness based. So then we can tie in education to fitness, and then obviously tie in nutrition choices and things like
that's
that.
awesome. That's so cool.
But yeah, the routine and keeping them busy, in my experience, is that any downtime just leads to behavior management problems. So yeah, it's keep them as on task, on as long as possible, as much as possible.
Yeah.
And you're self-taught CrossFit too, right? Like
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
where you
Oh,
found from where? Where did you .com or
no, I follow Push Jerk.
oh okay.
Yeah, so they had I lifted in high school, right? Because I was a 3 sport athlete, so I always enjoyed lifting. Um, One of my teachers, he taught the communications class. This guy was well ahead of his time with trying to uh, get into technology and stuff like that. He also kind of ran the weight room after school, so he was great. I liked him as a teacher, liked him, hanging out in the gym. But again, we're just doing bro stuff, right? Hey,
Yeah.
kind of following weightlifting,
Chest day, back day.
bodybuilding
Yeah.
routines. And I did that for a long time. Then I got interested in like strongman stuff and odd object stuff, and did that for a few years, and um, just started getting dinged up too much from all lifting all the heavy stuff. So
Yeah.
I got to find something that's a little more applicable, something that I could do, maybe out of the basement or just with some minimal equipment. And was a big fan of the early CrossFit games that were televised, and I was like, well, this is something I should get into. But I don't know. Just I was just for as gifted athletically as I was, and how much success I had as a young person, I just didn't feel that confident going into a box. I just didn't want to get smoked every day by everyone else. So I was like, I just start doing it on my own, and then found Push Jerk, which ran I guess at the time that I found them, they were also doing a 16-week juggernaut strength thing. So it was like the best of both worlds. It was like,
Yeah.
CrossFit warm up, just dedicated strength, and then a metcon at the end, and you could do it all and get it done within like 50 minutes.
Oh,
Mm.
So I was like,
perfect.
oh, this is awesome. It's a little bit of warm up, which I hate doing warm ups. You
Yeah,
know,
I always say all the time, I can't do a warm up. That's my workout. If I do a warm up,
yeah,
then
yeah,
I'm
I'm
pretty
not
much
trying to.
done. So like, listen, I'm
Yeah.
gonna
So
twist a little bit. I'm gonna go like this, and then like let's get these squats in. Because if I warm up squatting, that's like 5
yeah,
squats I'm not getting in my workout. So like,
and it's like it wasn't like some big famous programming that everyone else was jumping on, like
yeah, like chalk at the time.
Mayhem
Yeah,
or yeah, or who, I don't even know who else anymore. But
yeah, I know.
now everyone's got a program now. But yeah, so it was great. I loved it. It was just a little bit of a warm up. I have a rower, I have a C2 bike, so getting on those were cool. Gave me a reason to get on, but not like I didn't want to be doing, you know, 2,000 meters on the rower. I was just like,
Yeah,
okay, get on 300 meters here, a couple jumping jacks, push ups. All right, let's get the strength going.
the-
Mhm.
And then a nice metcon at the end of every workout, and 4 days on. So that, yeah, found that and loved it. And that's what I do still to now. I just keep repeating those 16 weeks, trying to get better.
So are
Get-
you still you're still not in a box. You're still just
Never been to a box now.
that's crazy, bro.
Never been to a box. God, I got almost all the equipment, man. I spent a ton of money at
We
Rome.
did too. Yeah, I know. We did too. When COVID hit, I think we were one of the first people to like freaking order from Rogue
Like a
and
home
Yeah.
gym.
got a whole home gym
Yeah,
from
probably
Rogue
would
at
have
the
been
time.
cheaper
Yeah.
to join a box, and probably would have met some friends and stuff. But and now just don't have the time. I looked. There's a couple locally that I would like to maybe try and hit up, and expand my friend base. Have somebody to work out with is definitely cool.
Yeah.
Like one of the greatest things ever is what I heard is the community, right? Like
Yeah.
in powerlifting or bodybuilding. Not a great community.
No,
Not a great community at all.
Right.
no,
It's
not the
you
same
know,
at all.
very individualized. People hating on each other all the time.
Get off my equipment, man.
Yeah, so like to have like everybody just talk about the community, the community, the community. It's like, wow, this sounds awesome, right? Like, I'll go make some friends, right? And
Yeah,
but
throw down.
yeah, it just doesn't fit. The timing of the schedules just don't fit. I leave too early to even, I'm already in the city by 5:30, so no six
Right.
o'clock class is going to work.
Yeah,
And when I get home, time I get home is tough too. I'd have to wait to make the next, and then it's just too late. I'd be in bed by the time the 6 o'clock class is leaving, ending.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
I just do my own thing, and it's cool. Like I have enough data that I've been through this 16-week cycle of enough time that now I kind of have it dialed in, and now I just try to get a little stronger and make the Metcon beat it just by a few seconds each
Yeah,
time. So I know my metabolic conditioning is improving and my strength is improving, and
that's awesome.
that works.
Yeah.
All right, last little check in before I
Yeah,
let you go because I know we're hitting that mark real quick. But I'm kind of trying to ask everybody at the end. Have you heard of the what's happening with the Athena and the Hiller challenge? Have you seen that yet?
I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how you feel about
I
that.
love it. I'm a huge fan of Hiller. I hit up Hiller 2 years ago, maybe after he kind of did him and Souza kind of did the on the fly reporting there, like at the exit
Yeah.
booths.
Yep, I remember
I hit
that.
him up. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, if you ever need anybody to, join your team or whatever, like not as like a paid employee, but just like,
Yeah,
I'm not really like I don't have anything. I don't have like a YouTube channel or anything like that. I mean, I have one, but I don't have anything posted.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
really,
yeah.
I kind of only post on Instagram, just my workouts, just as a documentation of my history of what I've done and where I'm going, like the improvements
So,
that I make over
are you
time.
a Hiller fan that has learned about Athena, or are you a Hiller, or
No, no, no. I was a Hilla fan from his like I don't know. It seemed to me like he was almost doing like war reporting like that
yeah,
first year. Like he was
yeah,
like this war correspondent out there.
yeah. My man was in the trenches. He was.
Yeah,
He's been there. Yeah,
just jumping on athletes when they were leaving the athlete area or
yeah,
whatever it was. So that's when I hit him up. I was like, yeah, if there's an opportunity to work with you, like I'd definitely be down. Whatever it was, if he was going to do podcasts, like just be in the back, bringing
yeah,
stuff up, kind of like Matt does for Savant.
yeah,
And he was like, that it's awesome. I'll keep you in mind, but right now he was swamped, and as
yeah.
this guy's working like a maniac.
Mhm.
But I only recently got put onto Athena from when Savant started talking about him going up to her Scaled Nation event. And he was
Yeah.
going to film it,
Diablo.
and then I was like, all right, I'll start following her because like he was speaking so highly of her, and
Yep.
I thought it was cool, right? Because here's a whole population of people who probably have some insecurities or have lost their
Course.
way, and shit, I was in, not that I was in great shape, but I wasn't like and I didn't want to go to a gym. I was like, man, I'm gonna get smoked. I don't have toes
Yeah.
to bars. I don't have a muscle up. I don't have double unders. I don't know. I never took a L1, so I really don't understand those cues.
Yeah, we have
Maybe
our
I'm,
own insecurities.
maybe I'm missing something, but I was like, oh, I love this, and I even sent a little DM to Athena. I was like, yo, this is inspiring, man. I love what you're doing. So
That's
I like that they're both working together, and I like them individually for different reasons.
I was well because I remember talking to you and you did say meet them where they're at,
Yeah,
and this is a fun little challenge to see if the two of them can meet each other where they're at. And so I'm just kind of trying to put my finger on the pulse of, Hiller's fans towards Athena, Athena's fans towards Hiller.
mm,
Is everybody just kind of because I mean I'm rooting for this. Like I want to watch this work. I want to watch them communicate and learn how to communicate with each other. I want to watch them
I'm
like
very optimistic, and from reading a few of Athena's posts, I think she understands that it's time. She's got to do the work
yeah,
herself, right? And
yeah,
I think she caught some backlash from some of her people, and she had to tell them, look, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for me.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I think she's made peace with that. And sometimes you got to get kicked in the ass.
I'm excited to
Oh,
see.
You
yep.
know, I've needed it my whole life. I just never got it.
Ice.
Yeah, yeah. I need to be kicked in the ass. Yeah.
Uh, uh Ooh,
How close
Jeffrey.
am I? Oh, I'm
You?
about from Massapequa. Oh, from Chief Nation. Yeah, I would like to
Oh,
go there, but I'm probably about an hour away from Massapequa. I'm an hour east of Massapequa.
yeah.
Everything is an hour on Long
Yeah,
Island.
everything
Yeah,
is.
At least an hour on Long
It
Island.
is
yeah.
for me too. I've been meaning to
So
go too, and it's just such a
I
hike.
would love to go there. Maybe one day I'll go there. And if you know what, maybe if they over the summer when I'm not working, if they offer a L1, maybe I'll go there and do it there. That would be cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I like that they're doing Hiller's programming.
Yep.
He's programming for their affiliate, and yeah, I would definitely be down to go learn the L1 from there.
Well, I say, because I have my L1, I say, even if, I mean, you're obviously a coach, but even just from a fan and believer in the methodology and community or whatever, I tell everybody, go experience the weekend. There's nothing like it. And
Right?
it just really
Yeah, you did
shows.
yours at Garden City, right, babe?
Yeah, I did mine in Garden City.
Well,
And
that's
I
a
was
trip. Yeah, that's a trip for you. That's like 2 hours for you.
yeah, yeah. So I did that because the CrossFit gym that we were at the time with COVID and everything lost all their coaches and was like, I need help. And I was like,
Right.
okay, like I'll go. I'm a coach by nature. And so I went and had my L1, and it was a fantastic weekend. It was a reminder of why I loved it. And then I coached CrossFit for about 3 years, and recently kind of needed to just step away from it on my own. And we found boxing, and so I'm still
You coach
coaching.
out by you at the East End?
Yeah, there's a boxing gym out here
Yep.
that
No,
our
no,
buddy.
CrossFit out east.
Oh yeah, Warrior Legion.
Yeah, we were I was in
It's
Hampton
a
Bays for
beautiful
a
box.
while.
Yeah.
Yep. But decided to step away from that for just needing a change, and
Sure,
so
sure.
now I'm personally training and actually starting to boxing coach a little bit and learn
Nice.
how to coach. And I think it's always nice to kind of change it up. I always say, like, if you're in a space and you look around and it's not working, it's also okay to change what you're
Oh
doing,
yeah, you have to
to
evolve.
grow.
Have to evolve.
Yeah, and if you're gonna grow, you kinda have to get, well, not kinda, if you're gonna grow, you have to get uncomfortable, and I
Right.
think that these are the best opportunities to do that. And but as far as the L1, if you ever get the opportunity to go, definitely go do it. It's a fantastic, fantastic weekend. Like,
Yeah,
there's nothing
Jeffrey
like it.
Birchfield, do you know if Jethro, when he's gonna throw or host an L1? If you do, let me
I
know.
think they just did. I have a
Did
feeling
they?
that I feel like I just saw a post from him with a bunch of red shirts in it, so I think they just did it.
Hi, Jody.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
I
I
think they just did it. Could be wrong. I do follow, predominantly follow a bunch of CrossFit people. So,
I know.
but
Don't we all?
Jeff, I did hear nothing but great things about Jethro. So, and if Hill is supporting him, the little bit of interaction that I've had with Hill has been very positive. So, I wouldn't be opposed to it. And I'd like to support somebody who's just getting something started. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. Super cool.
so yeah, I'll look into that. I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah. Man, we're gonna check in with you because I wanna do this so much. I wanna so much chronicle the Hiller Fit Challenge, and I want like those people that found Hiller first or found Athena
Yeah.
first, or I wanna keep
Yeah,
um
I'm always available. So
so
let's make a series of it or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's
Follow along.
I'm gonna try to rock it. I wanna try to get everybody, even if you guys just send me sound bites. Just send me you don't even have to come on if you don't want to, Jeffrey one. But yeah, cool, man. This was so fun. Thank you so much. I'm glad we got to get into especially I want to do learning life on the spectrum a little bit more too. I don't think we talk about that enough.
No, we
Yeah, I
should.
was
We
gonna
should.
say.
That's cool.
We
So
should. And yeah, and I would definitely, keep your son as active as possible. I think, through physical activity, right? We just learn better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yep.
even when you're
Yeah.
trying to get some of those cognitive conversations going, knock out some burpees, and I know you love those. So knock knock
I
out a
probably
couple
should do
burpees.
them with him.
Right. Yeah, yeah, both of you, start the conversation, knock out 2 or 3, and then, let's continue on with the conversation, right? That'll also break up the cognitive thought that, okay, I'm answering this question, hit the burpee. Now let's go to the next question, right? And get a little more
That's
Yeah.
detail,
absolutely super.
right?
Yeah, that's
You can
cool.
expand on the detail. I mean, it doesn't have to be burpee, jumping jacks, push up, whatever, right? So yeah, it's something that you guys have in common, fitness, a love for fitness. Might as well start now,
You right. You right.
Yeah, because
get them moving.
we've tried so many things, and what's ending up happening is that he likes it for a little while, and then very much just again kind of wants to do what he wants to do, and
Mm,
it's been difficult to kind of get him back into, he was doing boxing, and when he first started boxing, he loved it and was all about wanting to learn, and now it's kind of like he wants to do what he wants to do. So finding ways to kind of keep him engaged with what he's being asked, but
Yeah.
also feel like that he's challenging himself and proud of himself too. So
So you got to find something fitness related that he likes to do.
yeah,
Run.
Jump, jump
We
rope,
just need to
run.
get back to the summer and put him in every Spartan
soccer
race and
and
soccer game
yep,
that we can put him in, and he'll be fine.
Right.
yeah,
So I'm saying even from a conversation, right? Just from like a mental cognitive benefit of exercise, right? Like that is even a big commitment, right? To be part of a team or
yep.
something that requires practice. I'm saying just in from a, if he enjoys running, like, just a quick shuttle, run here, run back. Tell me about what you did in gym. Oh, we
Mm,
played with the basketball. Great. Okay, run there, run back.
Oh, that's a
What
great
did
okay.
idea.
what
Yeah.
did you what did you like about playing with the basketball? Oh, I like shooting. Okay, great. Run there, run back. Did you pass the ball to any of your friends? How did you like throwing the ball to Jimmy or whatever? Right? Just so
Okay.
it's
Damn,
something,
dude. Thank you.
just less
Yeah.
less like that's a big commitment. You're gonna put them in something, right? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
a big commitment even to kids who are not on the spectrum.
Right.
Right.
Now we got to go to practice. I got to practice, and practice is long, and there's not a lot of time on task. Like I remember when I was why I started coaching my daughter's softball. Um, she was like, "This is ridiculous. There's no. What am I doing? I get 5 swings at batting practice. I stand in the outfield for another 2 hours. Like this is a better way. One, we got to be around better athletes so we can spend more time working on higher level skills. So I just started. I'll just start coaching your travel team. It's like
Yeah.
right, it's just that standing around kills everyone. Even
Yeah.
even
Right.
even someone who isn't advanced. No one wants to stand around. It's boring.
It is.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Because yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to sit down and chat more with you about this. I mean, I've grown up and I've worked with special needs my entire life. My mother was a special needs soccer coach, so I've grown up in the community and um but I feel like for me having a son and it's my own kid, I
Yeah.
almost feel like I'm like, what am I missing? What can I do more? How do I want to learn everything in any way that I can completely support him outside of the comfort of the information that I know that I've grown
Right.
up with. And so I
Yes.
would absolutely love to pick your brain more just from that. And we started a boxing class for adults with autism as well. And we're having a difficult time because also, one last thing, because I know I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but like I wanted to ask you how you're able to have such a successful class with so many kids. Is it because you have support, because you have that help from like
No,
the
no,
one-on-ones?
it's
No.
because of the routine, and I've just found out, found out where my students are, how
Okay.
much they can handle at a time,
Mhm.
where that tipping point becomes now they've lost interest on this.
Mhm.
You know, some students I can get back very quickly, others can't. So we have to, right, you have to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
And then I have to find that happy medium with 6, 8, or 12, and then be able to tie it into a whole thing. So it just came from, again, I get hundreds of repetitions at this, right?
Right.
These kids are all mandated to have phys ed 3 times a week, right? So 3 times a week, 10 months a year, years after year, right? It just becomes, okay, this is not working. Let's
And
try
it's
something
trial
else.
by error. You've tried so
100,
many things.
100%,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah. So it's get the
100.
reps in as much as you can, learn
Right,
what works for this time and
right.
doesn't work for this time. I mean,
So, and
yeah.
just a quick example is, right, so I have some kids that can jump rope, who can turn a rope consecutively and do 30, 40 jumps in a row. I have
Mhm.
others that can't even turn the rope, but we still want to teach jumping rope in the curriculum. So
Mhm.
we have to find out that, okay, lay your rope down, let's jump over the rope. So you're not actually using your hands at all, but you're still jumping rope.
Yes.
You're still
Yep.
jumping rope. You
Yep.
Yep.
could still you could still be proud that you've jumped the rope. You've jumped over the rope.
Mhm. Do you feel like less is more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In certain cases, more is more if the individual can handle it,
Okay.
right? More is more if you can do it.
Yeah.
When I had, you know, University of Syracuse, female lacrosse players can handle a lot,
Right.
a lot. Let's find
Yeah.
that let's find that upper limit. What can you not handle?
Right.
Mhm.
Let's see what you can. I mean, and there's always a limit, right? That every human body has their limit,
Right.
mental and physical. What can you handle?
Mhm.
If you're going to go play lacrosse at Syracuse, you can handle a lot. You can
Yeah.
Yeah.
handle a lot emotionally, academically, and physically. So let's put it all together and let's start talking about strategy and breaking down film of your opponents and what happens when you see this. What do you think is going to happen next, right? Start predicting what you might expect now on the field. So now when you're on the field in that game, you kind of have an advantage because you know what's going to happen, or you feel like you know what's going to happen. You can anticipate now. You're not just playing a reactionary game, you're anticipating.
Awesome.
Oh my
But
God, so many
in
more
the beginning,
questions.
it's going to be
Yes.
all reaction. In the beginning, it's going to be all reaction. You have to see, you have to implement something or try something, see how your son reacts, and then you react to that.
Yep. Yeah.
And then soon some things will become, you'll be able to anticipate the reaction. Once you can anticipate it, then you can, get ahead of it.
Awesome. Coach Ken, thank you
Yeah.
so much. We're going to
Anytime.
do this.
Anytime.
I
It was a
appreciate you,
pleasure.
man.
Thank
All right,
you
well,
very
great.
much.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk soon. Have a great night.
Yes,
You
it was nice
too.
to meet you. Have a
All
good
right,
night.
you too. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jeff. Bye, Jody.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Super cool.
So cool.
All right. Till next time, y'all.
Bye, guys.